Well, the next step in Donald Trump's criminal trial is officially out of his hands because on July 11th, he'll be sentenced for 34 counts of falsified business records. And Trump, he's already making a ton of false claims about it.
This is the crime that I committed, that I'm supposed to go to jail for 187 years for.
No, that's not at all true. Trump does not face 187 years in prison. He faces a maximum penalty of 20 years. And many legal experts think he might not go to jail at all. Others say, don't rule it out.
I wouldn't make book on the fact that he's not going to have a prison sentence.
So a lot depends on the behavior of Donald Trump when he's in front of the person he has been insulting repeatedly.
If I were the judge, I'm not saying I would impose jail, but I would strongly consider it.
Well, joining me now is Elliot Williams, CNN legal analyst and former Deputy Assistant Attorney General for Legal Affairs. So, Elliot, here we are. It's definitely not 187 years, but what are the factors that Judge Merchan is going to weigh over the course of the next month or so when he considers how to sentence Trump?
How to sentence Trump not to 187 years, Laura, but some set of time or conditions below that. So this is all up to the judge. The judge has full discretion here and will consider the biggest thing, in addition to what the law says, what the statute says, and New York sentencing guidelines. What is the defendant's criminal history? Now, this is a defendant that does not have a criminal record, so that works very much in the former president's favor. Acceptance of responsibility is very important. This idea of, has this defendant shown remorse, admitted that he did it, accepted that he did it, and willing to just to go there. And we haven't seen much of that from the former president, but there's plenty of daylight between now and July 11th when sentencing comes. So maybe he has a change of heart. Is the individual a danger to the community? Are they violent? Are they armed? Are they a fugitive? That's not really the case here. Works generally in the president's favor. Deterrence is an interesting one because there aren't that many presidents or former presidents alive, but needless to say, can the judge seek to deter future people from committing crimes or this person from committing a crime? And the big one, the defendant's conduct right here. How's the defendant behaved? And here we've had these gag orders. This defendant, the former president, has mouthed off quite a bit to the judge, and the judge can consider that.
Really important to see all these in writing. And again, with acceptance of responsibility, he can accept the process without admitting his guilt, and that could be looked upon by a judge in his what they call the allocution. Now, Trump says he's going to appeal, and that could be a very lengthy process. So walk us through how it's going to work.
Oh, lengthy is exactly the right word, Laura. So 3 levels of courts in New York and elsewhere. You've got the New York Criminal Court, that's where we are. Sentencing's July 11th. Then, after sentencing, a series of dates and deadlines come up. The defendant, within 30 days of his sentencing, can file what's called a notice of appeal, just a document signifying that he intends to appeal the decision. Then he has 6 months in which to file his briefs, pull the transcripts and everything. The government then has 30 days after that. Now, if you're doing the math, that gets you into now 2025, and the appeal hasn't even been briefed yet. Then more back and forth. The appeals court will write a decision when they wish. That could take months, if not up to a year. And after that decision, then the former president, if he loses, can go all the way up to the New York Court of Appeals, the highest court in the state. They don't have to take it, but they can. And that whole process starts over again. This is why appeals can take years and years and years to finish.
Gosh, 2025 is what I'm hearing you say as well. And now that Trump has been convicted, there are certain things now that he is a convicted felon 34 times over that he can and he cannot do. We talked to Congressman Adam Kinzinger about this and about the military service or the lack thereof. What can and can he not do?
Well, everything now until his decision is final, until the appeals are all exhausted. But there's a circumstance in which, under federal law, someone, if they go to jail in another state based on a conviction, they could be barred from voting. They could be barred from serving on a jury. And there's an important civil rights lesson here. Millions of people, literally millions, several million, are barred from voting in the United States on account of felony convictions. You can be barred from holding public office, which is interesting, and getting certain licenses if the former president wishes to, I don't know, be a real estate broker or something. I don't know if that's the case. The big one, federal law prohibits felons from owning firearms. I understand the former president has had a concealed carry license in the past, but federal law as it is right now, if you have a felony conviction, that is a bar.
unbelievable. Of course, the Constitution does not say that he cannot be the president or run for office, which for a lot of people, this has been very illuminating to think about this. It seems counterintuitive, but indeed it's the Constitution. Elliot Williams, thank you so much.
Laura.